Today, we're going to peel back the layers of what seems like a simple little fable about a mother bird. But trust me, underneath, we're going to uncover some incredibly powerful universal themes. We're going to break down the story of Chikki, and you'll see how these classic storytelling elements reveal a really profound message about resilience, sacrifice, and a mother's unbreakable will. Okay, let's get right into it.
The story kicks off with this incredibly potent idea. There is no greater hunter than fear. Now, this isn't just some throwaway line. It's the core idea that the entire story is built around. It's the very first monster our hero has to conquer, not just for herself, but for her kids. It totally sets the stage for every single trial that's about to come her way.
So, we start out in what storytellers like to call the ordinary world. We meet Chikki the bird, right there in her nest, but things are not okay. Her world is far from peaceful. Her two children, Chinku and Pinku, are crying from hunger, and you can see a really dangerous storm brewing on the horizon. So the threat isn't just coming from out there, it's coming from inside her own home. And this, right here, this is it. The inciting incident, the call to adventure. Chikki just can't sit there and listen to her children cry. So even with this nasty storm raging, she makes them a promise. She says, "Wait for me, my darlings. Mama will bring something back, even if it costs me my life." She has to leave the safety of her nest to go face the unknown.
Okay, so now we're entering the next phase of her journey, what's known as the Road of Trials. And this is exactly what it sounds like. It's where the hero gets tested over and over by bigger and bigger threats. For Chikki, the challenges just come one after another, hard and fast, pushing her to her absolute limit. So her first enemy is nature itself. The storm is just so violent that her wings get soaked, and she's forced to hide, to take shelter. Now, what's really interesting here is this feeling of complete and utter helplessness. Her mission to get food is completely stalled, and all she can think is, my kids are alone, the nest is wide open, and this storm, it's only getting worse. You know, as if the storm wasn't bad enough, she runs into an ally, Tony the parrot, who delivers this absolutely chilling warning. He tells her this horrifying story about a snake that just snatched a pigeon's chicks right from their nest. This just raises the stakes to a whole new level. The threat is no longer just the random fury of nature, now it's a smart, hungry predator. And yep, sure enough, Chikki immediately runs into not one, but two predatory birds blocking her path. Now she knows she can't win a fight with brute strength. So what does she do? She uses her brain. Her strategy is just brilliant. She looks at these two brutes, and instead of showing any fear, she challenges their pride. She tells them, hey, only the strongest and greatest hunter between you two deserves to eat me. It's a total masterstroke of psychological warfare. By playing to their egos, she turns them against each other. And while they're fighting over who's the greatest hunter, boom, she makes her escape. A perfect example of brains over brawn. Chikki finally makes it home, thinking, phew, the worst is over. But this is where the story takes a huge, critical turn. The whole story shifts from these external, physical threats to a much, much more terrifying internal enemy, one she can't outsmart or just fly away from. So this is the really crucial point. The first half of her journey was a battle against the outside world. You know, the storm, the predators. But now she comes back to the nest only to find her son Chinku is burning up with a fever. And pretty soon, Pinku gets sick too. The fight has moved inside the nest, into the very bodies of her children. This moment is what the famous mythologist Joseph Campbell called the inmost cave. It's that point of absolute, soul-crushing despair. But it's more than just a plot point, right? It's a reflection of our own deepest fears. I mean, this is the ultimate nightmare for any parent, watching someone you love just fade away from an invisible illness and feeling completely and totally powerless. Her fight is no longer against something she can see. It's against mortality itself. And this just perfectly illustrates her hopelessness. Even the doctor, a wise old rat named Chintu, gives her zero comfort. He looks at the children and delivers this absolutely devastating verdict. He says it's a viral fever and their little bodies just don't have the strength to fight it. He basically tells her, it's out of my hands, leaving Chikki with absolutely nothing left to rely on but her own will. So, with all normal hope completely gone, Chikki sets off on one final desperate pilgrimage. She flies to the highest point in the entire forest, a sacred spot called Shant Shikar, or Peace Peak. And it's here that she makes her final stand. Not against a storm, not against a predator, but against fate itself. Just listen to the power in these words. She gets to the peak, she speaks to the universe, and her tone, it is not a desperate plea, it's a challenge. She declares, I have not come to beg for my children's lives. I have come to fight you for them. This is a mother declaring war on the entire cosmos.
And this right here, this is the core of her argument. She's not asking for a favor. She is demanding cosmic justice. She is putting the universe on trial, questioning its very moral structure. She's basically saying that if there is any fairness, any meaning to life at all, then her innocent children have to be saved. It's such a profound question about fate and free will.
And here it is, her ultimate threat, her final devastating move. She literally weaponizes her own love and grief. She promises that if her children are taken, her death scream from that sacred peak will become a curse that echoes through time, a permanent stain on the fabric of the universe. It is such an unforgettable, powerful moment. All right, let's get to the resolution and see how this all pays off. This is the part of the journey where the hero returns home, and they bring back what's called an elixir, a lesson, a treasure, something that will heal their world.
And the universe answers. When Chikki gets back to the nest, her heart just heavy with dread, she hears a tiny voice. It's Chinku. He's asking for water. She looks, and both her children are awake, their fevers miraculously gone. Her challenge was met. Her will won.
So what's the elixir that Chikki brings back? Well, it's not a physical cure. It's a set of incredibly powerful, world-changing lessons. She comes back with proof that courage can conquer that greatest hunter called fear. She brings back the wisdom that intellect, not just brute force, is key to survival. But most profoundly, she brings back this radical idea that even when you're facing total despair, resilience is possible, and that the force of a mother's will is so powerful it can stare down fate itself and demand a different outcome. And this isn't just a lesson for her, it's a story that rewrites what's possible for her entire community.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really provocative question. Was the children's recovery a miracle from a listening universe, or was it the sheer raw power of a mother's love actually changing reality? The fable is brilliant because it refuses to answer, forcing us to think about the relationship between our destiny and our defiance. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, in our darkest moments, the most powerful force in the universe isn't some power out there, but the unbreakable will we have inside to fight for the things we love.